Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and thanks for being here today while I review the Jones Freecarver 6000. I rode this with Union Atlas, Union Force, Ride Deadbolts, and Battalion Acid Boa boots. I got this in a wide variety of conditions, everything from some good but varied spring snow. I also got this in a little bit of late spring thick powder. As far as sizing goes, I was surprised at how well this 154 handled me being about 8 to 10 pounds over the recommended weight range. I think if you're a 9 boot, but you're, let's say, 170, you'd probably be pretty happy on the 154. If you're my specs and you're like a size 10 boot though, and a similar weight to me, you might really love the 158. I feel a little bit in between. This 54 will work a little bit better for my boot size, but the 58 will be better for my weight for sure. So if I were to get one, I'd probably get the 58 just to make sure I can drive that thing as hard as possible, because you are getting a carving board, so embrace it. Let's talk snowboard dating app, some things that'll make you want to swipe right. This just jams for people who love to circle carve and across the groomer carve. This has great grip and it's not super stiff for being a carving board. Some things that'll make you want to swipe left. This is very technical and catchy. This is not good in powder. It's good for a carving board, but it's not good compared to any other free ride board. This is definitely a quiver board for a specific type of riding, and this is not an all-rounder. So let's get into shape here. This is tapered and directional. You can see there's a lot more nose than tail. This board is all side cut, AKA all effective edge. And as we transition from shape into camber profile, first off, there is just a little nub of a tail. There's just a little nub of a nose. The board I got here doesn't have the camber like the Freecarver 9000 did. Camber was almost as high as the nose. But here's the thing. Camber profiles change from board to board because wood cures differently. So take this with a grain of salt. This is a demo board a year ahead. You might get one that has a much higher bow of camber. Still though, it is very locked in, very technical, very catchy, not for beginners or intermediates. It is for upper level advanced riders to expert riders who really understand not just full camber, but full camber with a very long effective edge. There is a mellow but very effective disruption in the side cut. This just gripped like a champ in hard spring snow, and I could carve on this board when I'd get on other boards I couldn't. So let's talk Freecarver 6000 flex. It's got an easier flex than you would think. You can see there's a little bend in the middle here. The tail's really stiff. The nose is a little softer, but still pretty stiff. And with this board, most of the flex is happening in the middle, as you can see here. And then you combine that with this healthy bow of camber, there is a very springy ride underfoot, and it's really easy to pop for a board that's this catchy and technical. It's not an easy board to butter, but it's easier than you would think for a board like this. When it comes to riding the Freecarver 6000 in uneven snow, all this camber bucks you a good bit, and it's a board you mainly want to ride in clean conditions. For a carver though, it can ride really well in uneven snow, in hard uneven snow. This does very well. It really absorbs that micro bumpy stuff. It helps keep the edge quiet. Now, when it comes to going fast, going straight, it's not great, but it's not hooky. The Freecarver 9000 has a much more shallow side cut that is much more straight line friendly. The base glide is very good. Jones always does a great job with their base glide. I appreciated their older all black bases, but regardless, it's a fast base, and when well waxed, it'll give you some really easy glide. Now let's talk about why you're here and why you're getting this board. It's all about carving. As far as turn initiation goes, it's not very fast because it's wide. But when you get it on edge, it really accelerates through a turn and wants to do that across the groomer to circle carve kind of turn. If you're more for high speed down the line carves that are more narrow S-turns, you definitely want the Freecarver 9000. The camber profile doesn't have as much camber as the Freecarver 9000 I tried last year. That was much higher up and I felt more like I was on shocks. So as I waded into the turn, it would really come down and then really spring me out of the turn. And it was just an amazing sensation. I still felt a little of that, but I would hope that their camber's higher because that just felt so good with the 9000. Still, this just has such a unique, fun turning experience that really shines for tourney riders like myself. When it comes to powder, if you set this all the way back at a 21¼ inch stance width, you can get 5 inches back from center of board. That's great, but then look at this tiny little nose, and then look at all this camber. Camber profile and nose is much more important than surface area and width. Here is the Jones hovercraft. You can see there's a much more mellow camber, a lot more early rise, and then a much more massive nose. A board like this is amazing in powder, but a board like this, it's very good for a carver in powder, but it's very poor compared to just about any other free ride board in Jones's line. It's even not as good as some of the Jones all mountain boards. And when I took it out in powder, this just struggled. Not only was it difficult to ride powder, but it bucked a lot. So again, great for a carver in powder, really bad compared to most boards out there. So overall, I really enjoyed the Jones Freecarver 6000. I like it even more than the 9000. It matches my style of riding. This is otherworldly, and I strongly suggest it. If you're a more down the line, high speed carver, you're gonna love the 9000 though.